Hi, crafty friends. Melissa Minor here. Thanks so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. I am so excited to do my first ever PinkFresh Friday. This is a YouTube hop for those that love PinkFresh Studio products. So let's jump in and take a look at all the products that I'm going to use today. So I have lots of things on my desk, and I have, I think, 5 photos here. This is a picture of my boyfriend Dale and I, and we went on a little weekend trip to Galena, Illinois, and we visited Horseshoe Mound. It's a gorgeous nature preserve. So those are the photos I'm going to use. I'm going to use these Spring Vibes enamel dots. And then I also have this Making the Best of It, and these are some puffy alpha stickers, some titles. And then I have this Making the Best of It 12 by 12 paper pad, and you can see here all the gorgeous colors and papers that are in this collection. Okay, so I've picked out a few of the papers that I want to use. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and mount my photos on this pretty pink paper. So I'm not really measuring or anything. I have my photos cut to 3 by 3. And since I'm looking towards the right, I'm going to put that photo on the left, and then Dale is looking towards the left, so I'm going to put that on the right. Basically, so they're looking into the layout and not away. And then this picture that I'm placing down here, this is of the Horseshoe Mound at that nature preserve. And it was so funny when we were there. The bees just couldn't stay away from Dale. They were very attracted to him. So we ended up not being able to stay very long. It was a quick trip, but it was so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my paper trimmer in here. And like I said, I'm not measuring anything. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut this down. So we have that. And now I think I want to distress the edges. So I really like this little tool here. And this little tool I get on Amazon. And I think it's some kind of sewing tool. But it's like the Tim Holtz Edge Distresser. But I like this one better. I think it does a better job. So any products that I use today that I can find, I'll leave the links down below in the description box. And I really appreciate any time you click on my links and shop on my links, because I do receive a small commission and it's at no extra charge to you. So that just helps me and my YouTube channel out just a little bit. So thank you for doing that. Okay, so I have those distressed, and now I want to go ahead and stick my photos down on this white piece of cardstock, and I have this cut down to 11 by 11, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on this gorgeous floral paper, but I've already gutted it. So if you're not familiar with how to gut a piece of paper, you place your paper at the 1-inch mark, and then you take your trimmer and you put the blade and you cut down from 1-inch to 11-inch, and then you rotate it, matching your paper up to the 1-inch mark, and then from 1-inch to 11-inch all the way around. Look at that. It never fails when I'm making a scrapbook page that I run out of adhesive. I love this. This is the dot adhesive from scrapbook.com. And it's a really good adhesive. It allows you, though, a moment to lift it up if you need to, but yet it's strong enough to hold everything in place. Okay, so this center section, out of the piece that I cut, I cut a little 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 piece here. Now, I do print all of my photos at home. I use the Epson PictureMate 400. And so that allows me to size the photos in whatever I need. And so I printed my photos 3 by 3, and then they have that white border. That's, I just cut them out. I left the white border on them. So I want to use this stamp set, and this is a PinkFresh Studio stamp set. And let's see what it's called. It's called Simply Sentiments. It's designed by Caitlin Sheffer. And there's a sentiment on here that says, "So incredibly happy for you." Now, I don't want the "for you," so I'm going to bring in some mint tape, and I'm just going to mask this off. And then I'm going to ink this with some Versamark ink, and then I'm going to heat emboss this with some white embossing powder. So I did that off camera, and I used a little stitch dot die, a rectangle die, to cut that out, and I think it turned out really pretty. So I like that I'm making my own custom embellishments for my layout. Now I'm bringing in some cheap craft foam, and I'm going to pop this little sentiment up, and I'm going to place this sentiment right here along this little paper piece here. So doesn't that look pretty? Now, what I stamped that on, I stamped it on a piece of the pattern paper, and that is actually the back of the green paper. Now, from the Spring Vibes collection, I cut these florals out, and you'll notice I also used my scissors and trimmed in a little bit on the petals, and that's so that I can bend them and pop them up just to give them a little extra dimension. So I'm going to set those there for just a moment. I think that's the placement that I want, but I want to bring in my title. And my title is going to say, "It's all good." And I thought that was so perfect for, our little mishap with the bees. I mean, we were up there and I'm just having a great time. The bees were not bothering me, and they were just swarming Dale. I think it was gnats too. And they were just all over him. And so he kind of walked very quickly to the car, and I'm like, well, I guess this little adventure's over. So I thought "It's all good" is a perfect title. Okay, so on this puffy title, I'm having a really hard time picking up the little dot to the I and then the little apostrophe. It's a really good quality. So once you get these little pieces, then the rest goes very smoothly. So I'm trying to use my little poker tool, and I'm using my tweezers, and I'm just using whatever I can here to get these little pieces in place. So I'll fuss around with this for just a moment, and we'll get this title over here. So I want it over here on the right-hand side. Now, my layout today was inspired by a sketch, and this sketch was created by Laura Creates. And so I just wanted to mention that. Okay, so I have "It's all," and then let me get the piece that says "good." It's very, very sticky, so you don't need any extra glue for this. It's really sticky. So very good quality. And I love that it's puffy. It has like extra dimension. Okay, so let me move it down just a little bit. I kind of want to, like I said, I'm not using a ruler or anything. I'm just eyeballing all of this. There, I think that looks pretty good. It's all good. Perfect. Okay, so I have the flowers here, and off camera, I went in and added some foam, some more of that craft foam. And then these little lighter colored flowers, I used a die from my stash to cut the two little flowers and the leaves. And the flowers, like the lighter peach colored flowers, those were cut from one of the pattern papers that was in the Making the Best of It paper. So I love using the papers that come in the collection for die cutting, because that way everything matches just perfectly. So that little, these flowers, you can see they kind of match, the colors that are all around on that green outline paper. And then these little leaves, I've kind of taken my fingernail and just folded up the leaves just a little bit, kind of giving them that distressed look. So that pretty much everything's distressed. Now, I did not distress the white 11 by 11 paper, but everything else has a little bit of distressing to it. So I'm going to place two large flowers down here at the bottom, and a small flower, and then a few leaves. I'm just going to fill in, and I like the way that green gives a nice contrast. Now, that's a green piece of cardstock that I pulled from my stash, but I thought that it matched the darker leaves in the pattern paper very well. Oops, I got a little glue on my photo there. Let me wipe that up, and we'll get this leaf glued down. Now, be sure to check out the description box down below, as you will find a link to all my crafty friends that are playing along in the PinkFresh YouTube hop. Now, several of my friends have playlists on their channel, so you can see all the PinkFresh videos that they've made. This is my very first one, so I'm super excited, but I will also create a playlist so that I will add them each month. Now, these are, I believe, on the 4th Friday of the month. So if you're a fan of PinkFresh Studio, be sure to tune in to my channel at that time. Okay, I am bringing in these enamel dots, and these are from the Spring Vibes collection. Now, the flowers, the larger flowers, were cut from the Spring Vibes collection, and look how perfect these enamel dots match. So I'm going to add a larger one to the center of each of these, and then I'm going to add that lighter color of peach and a little bit smaller enamel dot to the center of those flowers. So that's just going to give it some extra interest, and I love that all these colors just match perfectly with the collection. I'm going to try to fold the flowers up just a little bit so that they have more dimension, and I'm really happy with the way this is looking. I'm using a little bit of this Nuvo Deluxe glue. You'll notice throughout the video, I love my glues, and they all have a different purpose. So this Nuvo Deluxe glue, it dries very clear, and it's a very strong hold. So I'm using it for my enamel dots here. There, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I love some mixed media. So I am bringing in some Shimmers paints, and this is the color of my Clementine, and this is a creamies. Now with the creamies, you need to spray a little bit of water in it to activate it, and it has lots of shimmer in it. So I'm just going to take my paintbrush here and dip it into some water and then into the creamies mixture. Again, this is my Clementine color. Now, if you decide to place an order with Shimmers paints, if you add my name, Melissa Minor, to the notes section of your order, Shimmers will send you a little free jar of paint. So I love these, and I found this color and I thought it was perfect. It's like that light peachy color, and it matches great with the flowers. So I'm adding some splatters all along my title just to give it some more interest. And then I put some in the upper left-hand corner as well. So I'm going to add just a few more splatters here, and then I'm also going to add some intentional splatters just with the tip of my paintbrush, just to make sure I like where all those splatters are. So that looks really good. Now I will do all of my journaling off camera, and I'm going to place it in the lower left. You'll see a screenshot of that at the end of this video. So if you've enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. I do have links to my Facebook and Instagram listed down below, and I will have still shots over on them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!